guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a very entertaining post titled Bachelorette Confessions. And guys, this is coming from a website that has spicy content called Naughty Posts, where people go on there and post all about a lot of spicy things that probably they couldn't get away with on Reddit so much, but they do it there and you get the real dirt on very taboo subjects. And this one is dealing with bachelorette parties. And this is going to go into this whole thing. The post starts out with this woman admitting some things she did at a bachelorette party and asking if other people did all sorts of things. And guys, let me tell you, the posts are freaking crazy. From all these gals that attended bachelorette parties, from the bridesmaids to the guests to the brides themselves, the mothers, as well as male dancers chiming in, bartenders, and all the different ugly stereotypes you hear about are proven right here. And guys, I've covered a lot of stories, as you all recall, on both channels, about a lot of the ugly things that go on at bachelorette parties. The brides hooking up with or fooling around with the stripper, or the different bridesmaids and all that. I've had bartenders, male strippers, everybody that has had jobs around that type of thing, dealing with bachelorette parties, girls' nights, and all that. And they've all confirmed the same things you hear about all the time. So this goes to show you, if you have a girlfriend or you have a bride-to-be, you want to think twice about when she wants to go out in the bachelorette parties and that type of thing. Because honestly, sure, that doesn't mean that every time these things go on, but it happens so often, and you hear these things so often, you definitely have to realize that it's possible. And if your girl is just dying to go out to these bachelorette parties and go to these clubs with naked guys dancing, everything, what does that say about her? What does it say about her level of maturity and loyalty and love for you? I mean, really. Especially if you're going to get married and your bride wants to do this. And even if she doesn't want to, a lot of things you hear about the girls egging them on. So that'd be a very good one here to go. Bachelorette Party Confessions. And by the way, a shout out to Mark for sending me this unique post I'm going over here. So it starts off with, now here is the thing that started off the whole post. This post from this woman, and she wanted to hear about other stories like hers. And she says, I sucked and effed a stripper at a private bachelorette party while the other girls cheered and wooed. He then effed some other girls after me when he was ready to go again. Who else has done this? Any stories to tell? So I'm going to go over the different stories. I got about 15 of them here. So the first one, this is from a gal. She says, as a 31-year-old mother of two, I went to my friend's bachelorette party, but never told my husband this part, that I got effed by a big black male stripper at my friend's bachelorette party and had a huge climax with friends watching. The hottest part was the stripper didn't even pull out. He, without warning, shot what I think was a month worth of built-up sperm right inside my you-know-what. I loved it. Thankfully, I'm on birth control. I'm certain I would have gotten pregnant from the sexy male stripper. By the way, is it possible that some of these are BS or exaggerations? It's possible. But when you hear enough of these stories, obviously cheating and things like this does go on. Next one. This is from another gal. She says, I've only been to one bachelorette party with a stripper. It was a small party. Just 6 women, including me and the guy we hired to strip, and he even wasn't a pro stripper, but a male friend of one of the girls who knew him from her local gym. He was a bodybuilder, really firm and hot. We enjoyed seeing his body and took turns playing with his you-know-what. I took a few selfies of me with his you-know-what in my mouth, ha ha. One of our friends was horny as hell for him and got effed on the couch. I'll never forget the sight of her dripping his load. The rest of us were more or less on our best behavior, aside from you-know-what sucking, but we had to turn on the fans. We had to turn on the fans because it was hot in there. Oh, I'm just getting started, guys. Next one, this is from a guy. He says, I went to a bar one night when I was traveling to NYC. A bachelorette party was there, and I started chatting up with one of the gals. Cute girl with great boobs and a nice booty. She's pretty drunk and is pulling away from her friends. I said, you want to get out of here? And she said, F yeah. We go to her hotel, and I'm going down on her, making her go crazy when her friend comes in. It was a king-size bed, but they were sharing rooms. I started pulling back, and she says, no, don't stop. Pulls my head back down south, and the other girl is going to the bathroom or something. She finally orgasms and pulls me up. I'm getting ready to F her, and the other girl gets in bed with us. I'm a little freaked out, but the girl reaches over and puts her hand on my ass, encouraging me to F her friend. Those girls were hot. So far we got the strippers, and we got a guy just ran into a girl's at the bachelorette party and just hooked up one of the girls there because they're away in the city, away from their boyfriends or husbands or whatever. Right here. Next, this is from another guy. He says here, I've been a stripper for a few years. I've been a stripper for a few years at bachelorette parties, and they're always off the hook. I don't think I've ever left one without effing several of the girls there, although not always the bride. The moms and the daughters are usually ravenous, to the point when I've come to realize they're not interested in the stripping, they're interested in the sausage. So I started showing up at the door in a thong or nude. Best experience I ever had was banging a bride-to-be and her mom and sister while the bridesmaids cheered on and took pictures and video. The mom has since hired me for half a dozen ladies' lunches. See, we're not getting this just from the gals, we're getting it from the guys. And a lot of guys when I do these videos comment that they are either presently or in the past were bartenders and saw what went on. Male strippers saw what went on. Now, let's be honest here. These male strippers that do this with these wives or girlfriends or brides-to-bes, they're scumbags. I mean, they know darn well these girls have boyfriends, but these girls, they don't care. Next one, this is from a gal. She says, last summer I was a bridesmaid for a friend. She and her man didn't want a bachelorette parties before the wedding, but a co-party with bridesmaids and groomsmen after one of the wedding rehearsals. We were all drinking and getting loose. Interesting choice of words. When we saw one of the bridesmaids getting eaten out by one of the groomsmen in the back room. That changed the vibe, and a couple of us got laid that evening. My husband wasn't around, but I effed the best friend of one of the other girls. She was getting laid by someone else, so she didn't mind. He was a great screw. Next one, this is from a guy. He says here, my experience is different as I was a stripper through college and for a few years afterwards. I thought when I started that the clubs were where the things got rowdy, but nothing compares to a bachelorette party. I started bringing condoms after my first bachelorette party because I actually got someone pregnant at the party. I actually posted a confession about it. Next one. This is from a gal. She says, at my bachelorette party, okay, when she was to be married, at my bachelorette party, we went to dinner, then back to the penthouse suite for some entertainment. 8 girls and 5 male dancers. My mom started it by stripping and blowing one of them. Then the next girl gave him. Then they started to lead the other girls into the room, and they finally made their way to me. I pretended to be shy, but once I was alone, all bets were off. But to my surprise, my wedding, I discovered the 2 guys I was with that night were my husband's cousins, and that the family has no idea what they do on the side. They both approached me and said we can do it again or right now. Now, that part elements of that sound like bullshit, but next one, this is from a guy. He says, I'm a male stripper, and I've effed lots of MILFs and brides when they get drunk and others egg them on. That's the common thing you hear these stories. It's always the girls egging them on to do these things. The drunk skanks can't seem to get enough. I really like the button, tight-looking conservative ones, since when they let loose, all that pent-up sexual energy needs to be released. And yes, it's the older ones that really go crazy. All those unbalanced hormones raging, and their hubby long quit effing them. I never give them my number either, so if a few younger ones get preggo, so be it. Yeah, these male dancers are scumbags. But of course, they're all scumbags, don't get me wrong. Next one. This is from a gal. It says here, my future mother-in-law hosted a bachelorette party for me, and one of my thoughts at the time was that it was going to be very sedate. I went along with it thinking that my girlfriends and I would do an unofficial one again at a club. I was floored when the 3 strippers showed up at my mother-in-law's house, and she was cheering them on in the front. She was the one pulling down the front of their outfit and sucking them all off. She would yell at that they were not hard enough and suck and stroke them. Later on, she was over to the side, sitting in a chair, sucking on one of the biggest ones I've ever seen. This is her future mother-in-law. I watched as she gagged on his orgasm, eagerly trying to swallow all of it. She told me about 2 hours later that I better be enjoying this because she would hate for me to see me cheating on my marriage. She was not cheating because her husband had left her and married a younger woman, but I do not think she had any regrets about it. This is the family she's marrying into. Next one. This is from another gal. She says, at a bachelorette party for my good friend, she got pretty drunk and let the stripper get friendly. He was grinding on her, playing with her boobs from behind her. This went on for a while before she was sitting in her chair with him standing in front of her. Next thing you see is his hands on her head, and everyone was cheering as she sucked his you-know-what. Unfortunately for her, someone was recording with their phone and sent it to her fiancé, who promptly called the wedding off. Thank the Lord one of these a-holes gets caught. Next one. This is from a guy. He says, fuck. I hope some of these stories, or all of them, are made up. Last month, my wife went to a friend's bachelor party, and she said there were a couple of strippers, but she said they were goofy and really comical. She said they weren't hot at all. Yeah, I noticed that her lipstick was smeared a little when she came home. I hope she wasn't sucking someone's you-know-what or worse. Dude, I hope she brushed her teeth that night and used a lot of mouthwash because I'm not buying that part. Next one. This is from a gal. She said, I had a crazy time at my best friend's bachelorette party. We went clubbing, bar hopping, and by the end of it, we were completely trashed. Notice the common theme here, alcohol. My friend and I ended up having a threesome with a guy we met at one of the clubs. She felt so guilty about it afterwards, but she never told her husband. Of course she didn't. So for their first year anniversary, we made up to him by giving him a threesomething for his first year anniversary. Had a few more ever since then. Again, if this is true, Sodom Gomorrah 2.0. Next one. This is from a gal. She says, the only bachelorette party I went to where people had you-know-what was with what? Let me start over. She says, the only bachelorette party I went to where people had sex was with one without the strippers. No guys. As gag gifts, a couple of people gave the upcoming bride dildos and vibrators. We were drunk and we tried them all out. It was also my first girl-on-girl experience. Okay, that's different. So no male dancers. They all started drinking, had all the toys, and next thing you know, they're trying them out on each other. Well, guess what? Still cheating. Next one, this is a guy. He says here, I got really drunk at my bachelor party. My soon-to-be wife had her bachelor party the same night. I just drank and had fun, and my friends dropped me back off at my apartment, and it was a very casual bachelor party. I was passed out on my couch and heard someone knocking on the door of my apartment. I answered it, and Jessica, my soon-to-be wife's best friend, grabbed my you-know-what through my boxers. She started kissing me, and I started kissing her, and was moving toward my room very fast. My boxers off, and she had tore her clothing. She's a little petite girl, and I picked her up, throwing her on my bed. I effed her brains out through the night into the morning, and when I woke up, I asked her why she came over. She giggled, saying Kim, my soon-to-be wife, told her I had a thick you-know-what, and she asked if she minded sampling me, and I said sure. I don't know about that. I didn't really buy her story, me neither, and figured I would never talk about it ever again. We got married and had a great honeymoon, and a few weeks after we got back, my wife asked me if Jessica was a good F-U-C-K. I froze. She laughed and said it's fine, telling me that she told me to enjoy, that she enjoyed me. Still, I was nervous and embarrassed. It was awkward, and I said yeah, but it was wild, and I was pretty drunk to remember much. My wife laughed, saying, well, I guess you can give another go. She said you gave her an orgasm and she never had one during sex. I didn't know what to say. I just laughed and said, you're crazy to be my wife, and she laughed. You think? We never talked about it again. While Jessica is very, very sexy, I don't know why I didn't ask for seconds. I'm weird, I guess. I don't know if I'm buying that one there, unless I think the friend was sent over. If this is true, probably the friend was sent over because this dude's wife that he married was off doing Lord knows what with Lord knows how many people, and now she could always say, you F my best friend. But anyhow, guys, there you go. I think that was about a dozen to 15 different ones there. Now, is it possible that some are complete bullshit? Of course. But the point is, I do not buy that they're all bullshit. And I covered plenty of stories here. Like I said, I've had dudes comment on different stories I've done. Ex-bartenders, strippers, all that. They say what goes on girls' nights. I'm sure there are guys watching this right now that either in the past were bartenders or strippers or doing it right now and know exactly what I'm talking about. Or you've encountered girls at bachelorette parties and hooked up with them and knowing darn well that some of them had husbands, boyfriends, fiancés, all that. So you can't make that up. So guys, there you go. There's some confessions there. There's definitely truth to that. So just be aware of this when your girl wants to go out for the bachelorette night or bachelorette party or girls' weekend. There's so many examples. It's crazy. So, but anyhow, guys, that'll be a very good one here to cover some confessions. I'm sure this video will do well. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. All you guys out there that have some experience in this, good, bad, or ugly, let's hear about it in the comment section. Share your experiences. Even if you're one of those assholes who used to knowingly bang girls that were married or engaged, say it anyway. Guys need to hear this to protect themselves. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.